Hello again. Now, the woman dubbed the holiday swindler, Hello Darlings CEO Tasneem Moosa, was a no-show for an interview with anti-crime activist Yusuf Abramjee. Thousands are looking for answers after the company allegedly defrauded people who had paid for overseas trips that never materialized. Moosa is currently facing criminal charges. Well, let's discuss this to understand why the interview didn't happen and what could be next. Yusuf Abramjee joining me now here on Today on ENCA on this afternoon. Yusuf, thank you very much for your time on ENCA. You were supposed to interview Ms. Tasneem Moosa. From the reports I've seen, she had agreed and then she made a U-turn. What happened from your understanding?
Hello, Dan. Well, I sent her a SMS message on a Dubai number, which I received on Friday. On Saturday, she replied and she answered a few questions very briefly, confirming that a statement that went viral was issued by her. She also confirmed that her company will be going in liquidation. And she then volunteered to do an interview with me on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock South African time. When I sent her the Zoom link on Monday afternoon, she said that on legal advice, she wanted a comprehensive list of questions. And I said to her, if you've got nothing to hide, why do you want the questions? And I'm not in a position to give you the questions because she needs to answer all the questions. And just for the record, then, I've got about 100 questions which I prepared, which are very serious, and I needed her right of reply. And then she came back to me late on Tuesday to say on legal advice, she's decided not to do the interview. Be it as it may, we know that yesterday a lawyer's letter was issued by an attorney in Pretoria saying that he will now handle all the inquiries and they're going to have a forensic audit. But this company, this law firm and the forensic company have been appointed by Tasneem Moosa, which raises a lot of questions. So we are all now waiting, and the victims are waiting for her to file for liquidation. But as we speak, then I can confirm that we have 362 criminal charges, those of theft and fraud, that have been laid at various police stations across South Africa, totaling 32.2 million rand. More charges are being laid over the next day or two. And I've just heard a few minutes ago that a number of victims in the UAE, specifically in Dubai, are now opening criminal charges because we know she ran an entity called Famine Voyages in Dubai. And apparently some people were also conned out of the money in Dubai.
Oh, it gets bigger now. It gets bigger. It's now over 30 million rand, you say, and about 360 cases. Now, just you mentioned Dubai. They're also now investigating her. Has South Africa, have our police tried to source the help from Interpol?
Well, then we've given the police a list of just over 300 case numbers so far. We have confirmation from the Hawks in Gauteng that the cases are now being handled by the Commercial Crime Unit in Gauteng. We know that they've appointed a very senior officer to investigate and to coordinate all the cases. That could take a few days, possibly a few weeks. Now, from experience, Dan, we know what happens is that the minute they look at all these dockets, they look at the modus operandi, they will probably apply to a court for a warrant of arrest. Once a warrant of arrest is issued, and once the NPA decides that there is a criminal case for her to answer, they will then issue the warrant of arrest, and if they can't find her in South Africa, they will then forward it to Interpol, who will most probably issue a red alert. And as we know in the Gupta case, there could be a delay, for example, if she finds herself in a country like the UAE or perhaps another country, depending on the extradition agreements between the two countries. So it could be a long process, but there's been a lot of speculation that she's even in South Africa, she's in Dubai. There's been some people saying she's in Turkey, some people are saying she's in Bahrain. But, you know, the reality is then you can run, but you're not going to hide. How long is she going to be in hiding? She said in the interview or in the written text she sent me, that she was fearing for her life. Her family and the children have received death threats, and she was in hiding. But I think it will be fair enough to say that she is a fugitive because the police want to question her. So I would be safe enough to say, as we speak, she's a fugitive.
And very briefly, Yusuf, the victims, currently waiting to see what's going to happen. Though some of them yet you've interacted with, how are they feeling right now?
Then people are angry. They are furious. People are very emotional. People have spent thousands of rands for their so-called dream holiday. Some of them booked AFD regulations, and some foreign countries relaxed their COVID restrictions. Some people spend up to 400,000 or 500,000 rand for them and their extended families to go to the Maldives, to go to Greece. And the thing that worries me, Dan, which has to be the subject of the investigation, is that when she knew a company was in trouble just a few weeks ago, she offered 50% discounts on, for example, resorts in Maldives, and yet those resorts were charging her the full rate. So the motive has to be questioned. Was she trying to cash in? Yes, some people got their refunds, but people are understandably angry. They are furious. And I think at the end of the day, justice must take its course. A lot of the influencers, the bloggers who supported her are now in hiding. Some of them are just keeping quiet. These people punted her company. Then they didn't follow the ASA regulations to say that they were advertising or it was a sponsored post. They went for the freebies and they vouched for Tasneem Moosa, and Tasneem Moosa has simply vanished and even let them down.
Thank you very much, Yusuf Abramjee, for that update. The story is getting bigger and bigger. Even the amount now is more than 30 million rand that's in question, and about 360 cases now being opened against the so-called holiday swindler.